Good evening. I would call the meeting of the Bismarck Board of Park Commissioners to order and ask Julie to call the roll, please.
Commissioner Gilbertson? Herzog? Here. Redmond?
Here.
Jeske?
Here.
President Zimmerman?
Here. Second item on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. If we'd all please stand and join.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Our third item is the approval of the agenda for tonight's meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and seconded. If Julie, if you'll call the roll, please.
Commissioner Herzog?
Yes.
Redmond?
Aye.
Jeske?
Aye.
President Zimmerman?
Aye. Our next item is our featured partners and programs. We have with us tonight Cherise Pfaff is the director for the Bismarck Art and Galleries. I would welcome Cherise to our meeting this evening.
Thank you so much for having me. Like you said, my name is Cherise Pfaff. I'm the executive director at Bismarck Art and Galleries. We exist to support and elevate and advance the arts, the visual arts. We just did a little rebrand and we said, Baga, we are more than just an art gallery. And I'll share more about that as we get along. So Baga, we work to make art accessible. We support local artists. Art preserves culture and identity in the community. It fosters dialogue and empathy. It builds community. It inspires creativity and learning, and it contributes to the local economy. The structure at Baga, we have 2 employees, we have 100 volunteers and 350 members, and also 10 board of directors. Mark Zimmerman is currently the president of our board. The income at Baga, we get income through a lot of different ways, through membership, art sales, donations, store sales, we have a store as well, classes, grants, rentals, and events. When you think of an art gallery, you probably think of the exhibits, and we do offer a lot of exhibits. We do an exhibit every month featuring at least 2 artists and sometimes more. Right now we have the Fall Art Show going on, which has over 88 artists and 240 pieces of artwork. The exhibits are free and open to the public. We're open from 10 to 5, Tuesday through Friday, and 10 to 1 on Saturdays. Each month we have an open reception that has appetizers and drinks and an opportunity to meet the artist that's displaying. So this is the Fall Art Show that I mentioned, just part of it, and all those 240 pieces. Some up-close pictures. The one on the left is a pastel piece, and it is stunning. You'll have to see it in person. We also offer classes, painting, drawing, printmaking, felting, pen and ink, lots of different classes. We also recently got a grant from the North Dakota Council on the Arts to have a Creative Connections class, which meets once a month for adults with disabilities. We also rent out the facility, so we rent for baby showers, weddings, corporate gatherings, and we also stay busy with 5 fundraiser events throughout the year. Capitol Affair is our biggest event. If you are around in the summertime, the Capitol Affair is on the Capitol grounds, that front loop. We have over 120 vendor booths and 15 to 20 food booths. It is a giant event, draws between 8,000 and 15,000 people. And Parks and Rec plays a big role in helping us with the Capitol Affair. They help us by providing 4 golf carts, picnic tables for the concessions area, and 2 bleacher sets for our entertainment, which is invaluable to that event. We also have other events. The Cookie Walk is coming up in December, and we have the flea market. Cookie Walk, we have our members and the community make homemade cookies, and we sell them by the pound. This year's goal is 500 dozen to be made and sold. And then the flea market, we have our members in the community donate items, and we sell them in the flea market. So it's a great way to clean out your closet and support art. And Parks and Rec provides tables for both of these events, and they're great support. Parks and Rec also supports us weekly through providing Pat Johnson. He comes once a week and works on our maintenance, cleaning, trash removal, replacing even light bulbs. We love Pat and we appreciate that so much. So thank you for all that you do to support the arts and the community and keep our community thriving.
Sharice, if you just hold on, and
Yes.
perhaps some commissioners would have questions. I'll start with Commissioner Redmond.
Oh, Sharice, thanks so much. Appreciate the partnership and also just being part of the Parks and Rec family, just being part of our building.
We share a building,
Yes, and so it seems like you're always around. And as a former staff member, we always appreciate the leftovers from the cookie walk.
The cookie walk.
So you can bring those to the
Yes.
commission table as well if you want to.
right.
But certainly appreciate the classes. I've taken them as well. But also, people may not know Theo Art School started as part of Vega,
Yes.
started there and
Yes.
grew so quickly that had to springboard into their own organization. And so
Yes.
it's nice to see that the arts create even more art groups. So thanks for what you do in the community.
Thank you both.
Commissioner Jeske.
President Zimmerman. Sharice, I'm curious about your memberships. Can you tell me a little
Yes.
bit about that? Is it
Absolutely.
tiered? What's the, you know?
It is tiered, yep. We have memberships, and the tiers are artist, and then it goes to individual and household and senior, and then corporate memberships. And it is yearly membership, and your membership gets you access to all of our events, notifications, and the higher level memberships get you tickets to our events. We also have other fundraiser events, one coming up this November, a dinner auction fundraiser that will be at the Heritage Center, and so you get a ticket for that if you're a business member.
Okay, and the fee structure is located on your website?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yep.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Commissioner Herzog.
Thank you, President Zimmerman. Sharice, thanks for being here. I'm curious how Capital Fair went this year. I didn't know we did golf carts, and as someone who does an event like that, saves you so many steps and hauling ice and Lord knows what else. So was it a good event for you this year? I know we've sold pop in the past, but how did it go, and where are you looking to take that event in the future? Is it expanding?
Sure. Yeah, it was a great event this summer. We had more booths than ever, I believe, and huge attendance. You know, it's kind of weather dependent with an outdoor event, so we had great attendance on Saturday. The weather cooperated. It can be 90 degrees or windy and raining, but it was perfect weather this year. So big turnout. All of our vendors were happy, and we were happy. It was a great event. Yep, and always looking to expand, adding new things in the future. This last year we added, we expanded our sidewalk chalk art, and so always looking to expand that and engage more artists in sidewalk chalk and live art, and yeah.
Sharice, I would just add, being on the board has been an enjoyment. It's fun to see arts being more involved in the community and in the parks, and hopefully there's some projects with our new efforts to include the community more. Maybe we'll get involved a little more with parks with some artwork. So thank you for stopping at the meeting this evening, and best of wishes for the Festival of the Arts coming up. So
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
our next item on the agenda is a presentation on the City Arts and Culture Master Plan. And we have with us this evening Lauren Oster. Good evening, Lauren.
Good evening, Commissioners. 1 second, I'm just going to get the presentation up here. Thank you. All right. Good evening, President Zimmerman and Commissioners. Thank you for having me tonight. I'm here to provide a brief overview of the city's Arts and Culture Master Plan draft, and we'll ask for final input that you may have on it at the end of this. So the Arts and Culture Master Plan aims to develop a community-driven vision for the role that arts and culture plays in the community. To achieve this initiative, the City of Bismarck partnered with Dakota West Arts Council, Bismarck Parks and Recreation District, and Bismarck Public Schools. We also contracted with Designing Local, a nationally recognized firm specializing in arts and culture planning, to help with the community engagement and the plan's creation. I do have Jasmine Metcalf, one of our consultants online, to help answer any questions at the end. So just a quick overview, there are 5 chapters within the draft plan. The first starts with explaining how the process to create the plan came about, and the last portion of the last chapter finishes with an action plan that supports implementation of those plans' recommendations. So the first chapter, as I stated, it provides information about the plan. In 2022, the City of Bismarck was awarded an Our Town grant from the National Endowment for the Arts to create an arts and culture master plan for Bismarck. The effort to create this plan stemmed from several factors, including the city's 2019 strategic plan that had an objective to create a vibrant local arts community. Additionally, a series of community arts conversations among artists, performers, cultural bearers, and arts administrators in 22, as well as the creation of Bismarck's Together 2045 comprehensive plan, which includes several goals related to arts and culture. The chapter describes what an arts and culture plan is, as well as describing what it should do for a community, and it identifies key project partners, which include Bismarck Parks and Recreation District. So in order to create this plan, a lot of community engagement was needed. It's a community-driven plan, so that meant engagement with community members. So as part of that creation, we had 23 one-on-one stakeholder interviews with representatives from arts and culture organizations, the city government, including representatives from staff from Bismarck Parks and Recreation District, small businesses and economic development organizations, as well as local artists, which are the key people who would be potentially part of the strategies that are identified in the plan. There were also 6 small focus groups, non-scientific online survey, and a public workshop. So from that community engagement, several reoccurring engagement themes were discovered. So the first is opportunities for arts and culture. The second is barriers to experiencing the arts. Third is cultural programming opportunities. And the fourth was the desired outcomes for the plan. So those 4 reoccurring themes were then compiled into a series of values that would be used to guide the development of the plan recommendations. Those are on the right-hand side of your screen. So those are sense of place and identity, community building and connection, personal expression and creativity, and then finally educational enrichment and development. So as part of this plan, it helps to compare the City of Bismarck with our peer communities, just to gauge the relative success of Bismarck's arts and culture efforts to those other entities within the region. It highlights, this chapter highlights arts economic impact data from the Arts and Economic Prosperity 6 report from Americans for the Arts for each of those peer cities where the data was collected. You can see that on the furthest right column there. So it additionally notes which cities have current policies, different commissions that are specific to the arts and culture in their city, as well as funding mechanisms in place that support the arts and culture sectors in their community. So our 4th chapter provides an introduction to various ways that arts can present themselves for the community. It highlights multiple examples under 4 main areas. So the visual arts, public art, performance arts, and literary arts. Each of those 4 sections go into more detail and provide a definition for the various types that could be included in there, as well as providing potential examples of what that could have. So the bulk of our plan is our action plan. So these are our recommendations that we have. It provides multiple strategies to implement those overarching plan recommendations, and these are laid out in a now, soon, next framework. So there's various years noted for each of those pieces. And those provide a flexible yet strategic timeline that prioritizes the projects and foundational program elements so that future investments can best leverage the momentum and increase capacity built through those prior phases. So this chapter at the very end also notes some potential funding opportunities for those arts and cultural program highlights. And then it also includes some information for arts activation and discovery opportunities that are related to some of those strategies identified in the action plan. So coming to you as this board, you are one of our key project partners, so I wanted to highlight how this could relate or support efforts that your organization is doing. So I called out a couple different strategies here. I'll just pull out a couple of them. So strategy 1.7, promote and strengthen an arts and culture calendar. So how could this help? With all the programming that Bismarck Parks and Recreation does throughout the year, this could be a very beneficial opportunity to support those efforts through various collaboration opportunities, not only with this organization, but others as well. 2.1A or 2.1A and 2.1B. These are develop an arts activation program and consider an arts discovery program. So this includes prioritizing park and green space programming for various engagement opportunities, including art learning experiences. So how could this relate to some of the goals and objectives from the Bismarck Parks and Recreation District Strategic Plan and Comprehensive Plan? So as I mentioned, strategy 2.1A and 2.1B are related to that art activations program and an arts discovery program, and that could support the Bismarck Parks and Recreation District's objective to provide diverse recreational offerings through parks, trails, facilities, programs, and events that are accessible to people of all ages, abilities, and backgrounds, as well as the objective to create an interactive 100-year celebration with the community in 2027 that highlights both the Park District's legacy and its future. And that was from your recently adopted 2026 to 2028 strategic plan. So the strategy is called out. Just want to note that they do highlight the potential collaboration with your organization, showing that the plan could help support you, but it's in no way saying that your organization would need to participate in any of those strategies identified. It's just a great way for that community collaboration to occur. At this time, I'd ask for any questions that you may have.
Well, thank you, Lauren, and we'll certainly open it up to questions from commissioners. Commissioner Herzog?
Thanks, President Zimmerman. Lauren, thanks for coming. I saw you on Tuesday, too, and your presentation was great. Are you, or this question could be for you or the consultant, but there has been talk about sort of an arts commission or something kind of along the lines of like the Historic Preservation Commission. Is that something you're thinking about in the plan, or is that more so just kind of do it as we would do it today, or what are your thoughts there?
Thank you very much for that question, Commissioner Herzog. President, Commissioners, so you are correct, there has been discussions on that. That is actually one of the strategies identified in our now section of the action plan. I believe it's 1.2 or 1.3, where it calls out the creation of a cultural commission. Additionally, there's a related strategy 1.2 or 1.3, I get those two mixed up, that calls out for the creation of staff, potentially from the city, to help support any efforts for a potential commission or other activities within the community.
Commissioner Redmond?
Thank you, President Zimmerman. Lauren, hello. Thanks for coming. It's nice to have you here. Probably in a dusty old file you might have discovered a long time ago. I know Dana and I were talking about a public arts policy that the Park District created at a community discussion many years ago. So thanks for picking up that gauntlet, because sometimes it's a difficult discussion to have because everyone has a different idea of what arts and culture should look like in a community. So I applaud you in the city of Bismarck and also the Park District and Bismarck Public Schools for continuing this conversation, because sometimes it's difficult to get everybody on the same page. But I'm very excited about the 3 pieces you talked about: now, soon, and next, because sometimes a plan is a plan until you say, but when? And so I love that action part of it, and I'm also excited that we're still part of this conversation because we're very much a part of the arts and culture in Bismarck. And so thanks for including us. Keep us talking, and I'm looking forward to the future, what this looks like and how we can get to that action piece. So thank you.
Lauren, I would echo Commissioner Redmond. I look forward to, seeing a good plan. I remember a few years back, there was that discussion when we were looking at, art projects in the park, visual projects, and, that discussion came up, then it seemed to kind of level off. So great to see it come forward now, because I truly think arts in parks, we certainly want to be a part of that. So thank you. Thank you for presenting to the board this evening.
Thank you very much for your time.
The next item on the agenda is disposition of bids, World War Memorial Building roof replacement. Jeff Ubel with Ubel Design Group will review the project. Good evening, Jeff.
Good evening, President Zimmerman, Commissioners. I wish I had better news for you. Last time I was here, when I presented the bids for the World War Memorial Building re-roof project, we did not receive any bids. We chose to reissue bids for that project, and on October 1st, Finance Director Kathy Feist and myself waited patiently, and to our dismay, we did not receive bids a second time. And so what I'm proposing at this point is that we take a pause and we wait until a little bit later in the winter. I'm thinking probably in the February timeframe, where we're getting not quite in the spring, but right after the first of the year, and we try to reissue for a third time. As you may recall, when I was here last time, we did reach out to multiple bidders. I had high expectations that we would have received one bid from them, and we didn't receive any. We did do some follow-up with them just to try to figure out what seems to be the issue. And the only response that we got back, which was from one of the bidders who was from Fargo, was that they were concerned about the necessity to bid the project and then hold it until spring, with just some of the uncertainty that's happening in the market. In other words, they didn't want to have to come back and have me come back to you and tell you that, over the winter they received a major price increase or something to that effect. So they were a little bit nervous about that. And so that's ultimately what, gave me some of the, or at least presented the concept of maybe what we should do then is wait until after the first of the year and then try this again. Certainly it's a project that needs to get done, and certainly it's a good project, and certainly we have lots of capable contractors of doing it, but it's just been a strange year. So if you have any questions, I would be certainly welcome to answer them.
Thank you, Jeff. I think there'll be a few questions here. Commissioner Herzog?
Yeah, thanks, President Zimmerman. Thanks, Chef. I just want to reiterate that that's kind of what it's like in a bunch of projects that I've seen too. And so hopefully it's not us, it's just what's happening. And I think you're right, the timing is kind of everything for a lot of these bids. Who's open, who's got work, and then just from a supply point. So I think bidding it later would be great, and I appreciate you, keeping on it and knocking on people's doors. Please submit a bid. Thank you.
Jeff, I would ask, is this a complex project that we don't have a lot of interest in it? I'm aware of the building, but not aware of the roof. If we're looking at something that's just out of the ordinary, that other than the price considerations.
Yeah, President Zimmerman, it's not a complicated project. It's certainly a messy project, but it's not a complicated project. But it's also, it's nothing that hasn't been done in Bismarck before. And the reason I say that it's messy is because it's an old roof. Obviously they have to be careful with the building, and they're going to have to close the street from time to time in order to accommodate taking the roof off and moving things around. Those are all the same things that the city of Bismarck is dealing with right now with this building too, because they're looking at a very similar project with this building. So in that sense, it's not complicated. We have people who are capable of doing this here. It's just a messy project. So.
A second question for either you or our executive director, Clipfell. Jeff, you mentioned we'd rebid and perhaps prices would be elevated for whatever reason. How does that fit to our budget?
President Zimmerman and Commissioners, obviously, we have a budgeted amount for the project. We also have reserves so that we'd have to just make that decision at the point of time that we receive the bids and see if we can fit it within that parameters.
I would add, President Zimmerman, that the roof that we're putting on it is a rubber roof, which is a petroleum-based product, and we know that oil prices are down, and so we're at least crossing our fingers that for as bad as that might be for North Dakota's economy, it might help us out on a roofing project from time to time. So,
Well, thank you, Jeff, and I would echo Commissioner Herzog. Thanks for staying on this. I know it's a building that we certainly want to keep well maintained and up to speed. I don't ever want to hear that we did not maintain the World War Memorial Building. So good luck as we keep working on it. Thank you for the information.
you bet. We'll get there. So thank you.
All right. Thank you. The next item on the agenda is authorization to call for bids. We're looking at some remodeling, renovation at our administrative offices. And Dana is here this evening to review the information and give us an update on that project. Good evening, Dana.
Good evening, President Zimmerman and Commissioners. We have plans for renovating the lobby of the Park District Administrative Office, are focused on improving our customers' in-person experience when they visit. The plan is to add 3 separate customer service counters, including one that's accessible to meet ADA requirements. The renovation will also improve our workspace for our customer service representatives, and then also the overall building security as well. So with that, I would ask for your consideration to authorize the call for bids for the renovation project. Be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Dana. Commissioner Jeske?
You know, at this point, Dana, I really don't have a lot of questions. I guess I'd be very curious to see the layout of how this new lobby is going to look. I think it is necessary. It's when you walk in there, it's not ideal for customer service. So yeah, I'd just be interested in seeing the plan eventually. But thank you for bringing this forward. And I don't know if anyone else has any other questions. Paula does.
Commissioner Redmond?
Thank you, President Zimmerman. And Dana, I'm just really excited for this. First of all, just a showcase piece as people come in and certainly for the staff there. And so I, unless there's any other comments, I would move that we authorize to call for bids for the renovation of the BPRD Administrative Office.
And I'll second that one.
Motion by Commissioner Redmond, second by Commissioner Jeske. Any further discussion? I would just add, if I may, that I'm in the office often, and I have had the perhaps misfortune, I could call it, somewhat, the day that registration opens up for people to come into the office and register, and it's a busy place. Mm-hmm. And I think the addition, or the rearrangement of it, and certainly to provide the accessible counter would be a great step forward for the district to offer the best service. So I think it's a well-needed project. Julie, if you'd call the roll, please.
Commissioner Herzog,
Yes.
Redmond,
Aye.
Jeske,
Aye.
President Zimmerman.
Aye. The next item on the agenda is the consent agenda, and I will read that. A variety of items have been placed on a consent agenda. A consent agenda can be approved with one motion, or an item or items can be removed for additional discussion with separate action. Staff recommends approval of the following items. Consideration of September 11th, 2025 board meeting minutes. The board meeting minutes are included. Consideration of 2026 matching grant application. A memo and the proposed grant application is provided in the packet. Thanks to staff member Mike Wald for keeping that updated. Consideration of agreements with the Bismarck Gymnastics Academy use agreement. Park development agreement for Silver Ranch 3rd and 4th editions. Request board authorization to apply for the following grants: the Emerald Ash Borer Mitigation Grant, the United States Tennis Association Northern Tennis Grant. Also request board authorization to call for the following bids: the 2026 maintenance equipment and the 2026 fertilizer bid. Request board authorization to apply for the Bank of North Dakota infrastructure loan, and that information has been included in your packet. Request board authorization to select a consultant and call for bids on the General Sibley Park Day Use Area Road Project. And that information is also there in your packet. Commissioners, what are your wishes?
I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Motion made by Commissioner Jeske, second by Commissioner Redmond to approve the consent agenda as presented. Any further discussion? If not, I'll ask Judy to call the roll, please.
Commissioner Herzog,
Yes.
Redmond,
Aye.
Jeske,
Aye.
President Zimmerman.
Aye.
President Zimmerman, may I have a moment, please?
Commissioner Jeske, excuse me.
I know the motion has passed, but I just wanted to give a shout out today to Colin and the crew. So it wasn't ideal conditions for us to put lights up in Peace Park, and I'll tell you, we were there at 9 o'clock in the morning. I think I left at 1:30. That's why I have the lovely hair today. This is rain hair. But they worked so hard and so diligent to make that little piece of heaven look very festive during the holiday season. We don't have a lot of places in Bismarck where we celebrate the season, and it's just exciting that we've got all this great work going on at Peace Park. I know they spent 40 hours rewiring all the little tiny trees that are in that park, and they're really thoughtful in what they're doing, and we're very excited about what that park is going to continue to look like, and it'll be a little showcase piece, a little diamond in the rough here in downtown Bismarck. So just a shout out to the crew for doing that. It wasn't great. It wasn't a great day. It wasn't a great day, but we couldn't have done it without them.
Thank you, Commissioner Jeske. I'm going to put you on the spot. When do we light that?
Oh, well, let me talk about that then. So Capital City Christmas has 3 events that take place on Saturday, November 29th. One is Breakfast with Santa. We get roughly 650 people that come to that event. That's at the event center. Tickets are reasonably priced thanks to sponsors. And then from 4 until 6, we will have a holiday pizza bash. That's also at the event center. And then once that wraps up at 6 o'clock, we move over to Peace Park and to the beautiful tree right next to Baga. And we do a holiday tree lighting. There will be free hot chocolate, free hot apple cider, popcorn bags. We light Peace Park, and then it's lit through the holiday season. But it really is a wonderful event, and we hope that there's no snow and that it's not 40 below on those days. So, yeah.
Thank you, Commissioner Jeske. I know you're been a long-time active participant in that effort, and I know Baga as well. There to be right there by the gallery is a good location as well. We have a couple minutes. We haven't been at a long meeting. If any other commissioners have comments they'd like to make this evening on any topic.
Good.
Commissioner Herzog, yes.
Yeah, thank you. We we were out at I was probably the only group that was golfing yesterday at Riverwood, and it's just still in fantastic shape. And I think people think like once October rolls around that some things sort of close up, but we were playing pickleball too, and it's just been a great fall. I know it's a little rainy today, but everything's still kicking. So get out there and enjoy it before the dreaded S word hits the ground. But it was in great condition at Riverwood, and kudos to the staff there. It was really good. And the turkeys were enjoying a great day there as well.
Thank you.
Item 9.
Commissioner Rim?
No,
Okay.
item 9.
All right, well, thank you, commissioners, for the comments. I know there's other events coming up for the district, so please check the district's website. I know there's a Halloween party and other events coming up as well. So with that, I would announce that the next regular board meeting.
Approval of bills.
Item 9. Item 9.
Oh, yeah, well, I blame that on my. Item 9 is the approval of bills.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and second for the approval of bills. Julie, if you'll call the roll, please.
Commissioner Herzog,
Yes.
Redmond,
Aye.
Jeske,
Aye.
President Zimmerman.
Aye. Now I can announce that the next regular board meeting of the Bismarck Board of Park Commissioners is November 20th, 2025 at 5:15 here in the fabulous Tom Baker Meeting Room. Meeting adjourned.